Yes, life is just a lottery, with our birth being the first drawing, rendering us no choice of our looks, intelligence, social status, health, and of course choosing our parents. No wonder why we are so confused and always in some kind of existential brain rants that echo through my confused brain. Now I know why I'm so screwed up in the head. Just think. Here we are thrown into this home with these people we don't even know. And to boot, we are never formally introduced to them. Like one day, we open our eyes when we become cognized of our beingness. It's like noticing an old picture on the wall for the first time. It's always been there, but you just never noticed it. They have no job description. We don't get any instructions on how to deal with them, and we just start calling them by their nicknames, Mom and Dad, short for their real titles of Mother and Father. I must have been a child prodigy to figure this one out on my own. So one day, I'm just crawling around in front of my parents, and all these aliens referred to as uncles, aunts, cousins, grandparents, start approaching me, and I was never formally introduced to them. So they all sit around in front of me, making all sorts of strange faces at me, trying to buy a smile with candy to rot my teeth that just grew in because they love me. How sadistic. Then they all start competing for bragging rights as to which one of them is going to be the first one to witness my steps and first words. Wow, they really need to get a life. They actually believe we are too young to understand them. So I figure, since they have nothing to do, I will hold them for some time before I start taking my steps and first words, just so they have to make more trips to come and see me and fill their empty lives with suspense and have a purpose in life. I guess this is their essence of life. So every time they come over, I stand on my feet and make an attempt to walk. As they edge a little bit closer to me with these stupid taunts, come on baby, you can do this, come on. Take that bold step with confidence so that you can begin your life journey. Why, they must be totally clueless or on too many meds. Like, don't they know when you take your first steps, you're walking to your eventual death? And hell, just looking at their faces along with their bad breath, it is no incentive to walk to them. So I just flop on my little butt and smile and shake my rattle. It's a great being a tease. Then they ask me to say my first words, so I just smile and shake my head and arms and just burp. After stealing their parental narcissism bragging rights, they just all get depressed, leave me alone, and head for the liquor closet to get faced. I then crawl back into my room, and when no one is looking, I just close the door. So I just go back, run around my room, and start jumping across all the obstacles, course of toys that I left on the floor, just to piss off my parents. Then I jump into bed and start to read The Philosophy of Descartes and The Stranger by Camus to put myself to sleep. And don't forget Nausea by Sartre. You have to be an existentialist to survive your parents. So now my family is getting concerned that it is taking me too long to walk and talk. So they are starting to get worried that they have no bragging rights. And they start thinking about taking me to a doctor. So I felt, hell, I'm over 3 years old, and I screwed with their heads long enough like they screwed with mine. So the next time my grandparents come knocking at the door, I just got up, ran to the door in front of my parents, and they're shouting, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. So I open the door, I let my grandparents in and strut across the floor, shaking my cute butt. So my grandparents now in awe and feel cheated that they did not see my first steps, inquiring, saying, well, maybe we'll see the first or hear his first words. So I looked to them and I gave them my cute smile, complete with rotted teeth, and said, you, kiss my ass. They were in shock, and they said, where did you learn this from? Where did she learn this from? And I just smiled and said, just kiss my ass. I heard it from you when you were faced. Well, son, don't tell lies. I never get drunk. So I responded, I don't swear, and that much anyway, but was it worth the wait to hear my words? So now they know I can walk and talk and now begin to worry because now they have to be careful of everything that they say and do in front of me. So to play the muse, I put on the TV and watch the news. Wow, an earthquake in California swallows up an entire city. So just to screw with their nimble little heads, I inquire, Mommy, Daddy, I'm scared. What's an earthquake and who did this? Don't worry, son. It's okay. It's the Earth's plates shifting unexpectedly and causing buildings to collapse. Oh, Mommy and Daddy, are we going to be swallowed by an earthquake? Don't worry, son. It only happens to people living on the West Coast. So Mommy and Daddy, who caused this terrible thing? It's just Mother Nature's son. So Daddy, is Mother Nature some kind of sadistic? And by the way, why would anybody move to a fault line? Well, they did it to have a nice house and to get a view of the ocean and to live in a cool and hip state and have bragging rights. So the next day I'm watching the news and I'm like, wow, there's a raging forest fire all across California too, burning all the towns that it did not fall into the ocean or the ground during the last earthquake. Mommy and Daddy, what is an inferno and raging forest fire? I'm scared. Who did this? And is our house going to be burned to the ground? Don't worry, my child. A forest fire is caused when it gets too hot and dry, and the forest begins to catch fire. Oh, did Mother Nature do this also? Yes, it's just nature's way. And don't worry, it won't happen here. The climate is too cool. And besides, we paved over most of our trees with asphalts and shopping malls. Oh, Mommy and Daddy, will Mother Nature still be alive when I grow up? Don't worry, son. Probably not. Global warming is going to kill her off very soon. Now go play and don't worry. Everything will be fine. So, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm watching the news, and now they say a tornado just wiped out a whole lot of towns in the Midwest. So is this caused by Mother Earth? Right, I guess. And should I worry? Right? Yes, or... You're such a perceptive child. There are no tornadoes where we live. So, we are a bit removed from nature. See how Mommy and Daddy take care of you? So tell me, why do people build their houses with no basements in tornado zones? Like, do they just want to play chicken or something with Mother Nature? And besides, what are the chances of them going to win? And where do they go once their houses are destroyed? Why, they just simply rebuild their homes and hope that they won't be targeted into another tornado strike again. Well, Mom and Dad, I'm beginning to think adults aren't too smart, and, well, the people in the Midwest, why did they pick their location? For a view of the ocean or a beauty? Wait a second. No endless horizon of the flatlands. And by the way, did Mother Nature build the flatlands? You adults scare me. Why do you tell me not to play in traffic and never be reckless? Like, how reckless is it to choose to live in an area that's bad for your health? Wow, I see that college education is really going to teach me a lot. So like hearing all this, I just started reading all these nihilistic books to cheer me up. Life can be so nauseating. So soon after, my parents approach me with a big smile and they tell me we are taking our vacation, son. So I inquire, what the f*** is a vacation? It's a trip we take to get away from all the pollution, crime, carcinogens, steaming pavements, and congestion. So I scratched my head and I said, I thought you said we lived in a safe place far from the whims of Mother Earth. So they tell me we did not lie. Mother Nature did not create this cesspool of built environment. We humans did. Well, nothing like competing with Mother Nature to destroy us. So we are going to leave the city behind and go to commune with the beauty of Mother Nature. What the f***? Are you crazy? Mother Nature wants to kill us. What the f*** are we going to do? Pitch a tent over the San Andreas Fault Line? Rent a treehouse in the hot forest, or just go to a trailer park in Kansas and wait for a tornado to take us to Oz? I think even the Wicked Witch has more compassion than this bitch Mother Nature. And besides, I can kill her off with a bucket of water furnished by Mother Earth. So there are enough carcinogens in our drinking water to kill a whale, you know. So I hope we hitch a ride to Oz just to meet the charlatan wizard. So when you want to come home, you can put on those ruby slippers and click your heels 3 times and say, there's no place like the nursing home. There's no place like the nursing home. There's no place like the nursing home. Then I'm going to hijack the balloon and tell the wizard to kiss my ass. And I'm going to commit my parents to a retirement home built on the San Andreas Fault, overlooking the harbor, covered by a dry forest. Then I'm going to give them Toto. So after a few days, that dog will report them to the Humane Society. Then for coming home, I'm going to set the straw man on fire, start a forest fire around their retirement home, and then have the Tin Man chop down their beams holding up their deck before I take his rust-proofing away. And just for fun, I'm going to take that cowardly lion's bipolar medicine and watch him terrorize you and your house when it plummets into the abyss, while the forest rages and the tsunami comes to wipe it out and to put the forest fire out. As you hold on to all the earthly belongings from the nursing home and my pictures of me taking my first steps. So I hope you left me a generous inheritance to pay for all my therapy sessions, bail money for stealing the wizard's balloon, alimony payments for Dorothy, and to legal funds to sue Mother Earth, and give my best to Toto. I have no plans on leaving Oz for Mother Earth, that's for sure. No way in hell. Besides, the wizard does not charge a copayment for my therapy sessions. With love, your son, Ricky.